Hi, Angie Jordan here again to talk to you more about the iPad. And I want to talk to you about the iFaraday pen, which I have right here in my hand, and more about ArtStudio. So we're going to draw caricatures today, and I'm going to show you step by step on how to use the pen and draw the caricatures. I'm going to start off by showing you the pen close up. You can see the end. It's a little more flatter than the normal stylus pen that you buy at Apple, which is a little more durable when you draw. You could find your center line a lot better than with the Pogo stylus pen. Again, this is called this is labeled foray, but it's the iFaraday, and I'll show you right here on the internet. You can actually order this at www.ifaraday.com, and that's spelled I-F-A-R-A-D-A-Y. Okay, we're going to start off by drawing my good old friend Dave Pepka. We're going to start by opening ArtStudio, and ArtStudio has upgraded, and there's some newer features that we can go over later or along the way as I draw Pepka. But I'm going to show you step by step on how I draw a caricature using the new pen, which again, this pen is a lot more durable. The flatter end helps you find your center point a lot better. It's longer and easier to hold. The other old stylus pen that I was using, the Pogo stick, which looks like this. It's skinnier, it's shorter. It sort of feels like you're holding miniature golf, you know, those pencils you use to keep your score. A lot thinner and smaller, but this pen is a lot thicker and better in your hand. So I open up ArtStudio here, and of course it's blank, so we're going to push that little arrow in the corner to bring up the files below. And the first thing I want to do is add a new layer, so I'm going to hold the layer button down right here, bring it up, and you can see all the features here: delete a layer, duplicate a layer, copy. If you were to accidentally draw on that background layer and not make a new layer, the only way to make a new layer is to copy and paste that bottom layer. But we're going to start by adding a new layer. Oops, I'm sorry, there was already one there, so we'll delete that one, and we already have a layer. Okay, now I'm going to pick my pen. And I start by the top pen. I choose just to draw an outline, and you can see these bars up here. The top one is the size of your pen, which is set at I'm going to bring it down to like 20, and your opacity, which I'm going to bring up because I sort of want it solid to draw Pepka. And we're going to come back down here to the color, and I'm going to start out with brown. We're going to draw in colors here, so I'm going to show you. You can see Pepka on the screen here. I'm just going to start by drawing the ball end of his nose with the stylus pen, his freckles, the lines. I'm going to switch to the color gray for his glasses. Now I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can as I talk about everything. But you can see how this pen works just a lot smoother than the smaller pen, just a better grip. I'm going to switch to blue eyes here. Now I didn't like that, so I'm going to bring my size of pen down just a little because he doesn't have thick eyebrows, so I'm just going to draw that. Oops, make a mistake, it's okay, you can just undo it. And again, this one. Okay, now you see what I have so far. So I'm going to switch to the brown once again. Draw below his lip line there. And I draw from the center out. Some of you might want to draw the head first, and that's okay. I'm going to switch to the lips. His top lip, and then his bottom lip. Okay, now the bottom lip, I'm just going to raise that, the size of the pen again to draw the bottom lip. And now I'll just draw the overall of his head. So we're going to bring that pen size up to like 25 and draw the outline of Pepka. And the bottom right there. Of course, we have to draw the top of his head, so you can see how I meet that line just a little bit better than the other pen. So that's one feature I like about this pen. and his ear, point it. And I want to go back to that color just to draw his cheek lines in there. Whoops, too thick. We'll go back, lower this, draw that in, draw a little bit of a smile line there. And now I'm going to keep it on the thin layer here and draw his whiskers in. Just trying to draw like a couple of quick lines here and dots and things, you can see. Just to add some of his flair. A little bit more here. And I have brown, but I'm going to add a little bit of gray in there as well. So you can see it's turning into a nice fun picture of Pepka. I hope he enjoys this. And I'll get into the coloring in just a minute. Let's see, we'll turn to gray, a little bit of gray here and there. Add some more down here, and of course down here lower, just a little bit more. And we can't forget the lovely flowers around him, so we'll draw a few of those. And you can see as I'm set on this solid pen, the opacity is set at high, very high right up here. That means I could draw right over any line on the screen here. To add some flowers. And a few more. And his shoulder line right there. Okay, now I'm going to get into color. So I want to go back to my layers, hold that down. We're going to add a new layer for color. But what I'm going to do is put that under the solid line work I just created, because when I color I don't want to go over these lines, so it's under it. Okay, we're going to click out and go back to the pen settings, and we're going to pick the spray can there for the coloring. When I hold the spray can down, I want to show you the different settings they have here, and they added this feature incremental. What that means, if I shut it off and I come back on this page, I'll show you. I have the blue. If I were to paint holding the pen down, it's one solid color no matter where I go. You can see that? Now if I lift it up and I paint it again, the opacity gets a little more solid. This is great for blending colors. And again, it gets a little more solid. You can see how that works. Now I'm going to undo, go back, and go back into my brush settings and turn it back on. Now I'm going to just change the color to peach to show you how that works. Let's just make this, again, if you want to make your color lighter peach, you could just hold it down, the color down, and move it over, and then quit out, and it's a lot lighter. So the incremental's on right now, and as I go over it, you can see it's getting darker as I go over. So I'm just going to keep that on, and as I draw Pepka here, and fill it all in. And remember, I had this color underneath the layer I first drew, so that's why I'm not going over top of these lines here. And again, this pen works very well with blending. You don't have to push that hard. Now you can also color with your finger if you chose to use your finger, but I actually like this pen because it works very well with coloring. And I'm going to go back into that color, hold it down, and get a little darker so I could blend it just a little more darker tones in here, under his nose, here, maybe under where the shadows are, just a little quick. And here's something really cool. Wait, as soon as I do his lips, I'll show you something really cool next. We'll get some highlights in there as well. Blue, just a little blue touch with these. Okay, I'm going to show you, I'm going to hit on gray here, a bluish gray tone, and I'm going to go in the layers. I'm going to hold that down, add a new layer, go back to my color. Now, I just want to show you when I go over his glasses here. Let's see, it's kind of dark. If I wanted to do that solid, say I go back to this solid color pen, and I make it solid. Of course I could bring up that pen size so you make it thicker. You can go back to your layers here. On this layer, if you hit the layer that I was on right here, that's where the glasses are. You can bring the transparency down on that layer, and you can see the eyes, see the glasses of the eyes. If I bring it up, see how it's dark? If I bring it down, and you can really set your opacity on glasses or make it see-through. I just wanted to show that in case somebody out there would like to use that as a transparency layer. So I'm going to click out of that, and let me go back to the color layer right here, and back to our pencils, and I'm going to go back to that spray can, choose the color white, and do some highlights here. Now my brush setting is big, so I'm going to bring that down just a little to get some highlights in here. You can see how that works. Now you could set the highlights bigger, but I think I like it just right there, so I can bring the highlights around his face. On the tip of his nose there, just to give a better effect, and around his ear. And there we have Pepka in a nice little cartoon. And I'm just going to add a little color in the background, maybe some yellow. So we're going to go back to the brush. Now I just want to show you there's some other tools. There's the bucket tool, which you could pour a bucket and close lines. There's this dotted tool, pattern tool. And let's try that just for the heck of it with the yellow. I'm going to put it on this line quality, and we're going to go back to Pepka's picture, and I'll start coloring it, and you can see the cool effect it has around Pepka's face here. And again, if you don't like it, you could just undo it at the top left corner, or if you like it, you can redo it and hit the right corner and bring it back. But I'm just having fun here showing you how to use this nice pen and draw a caricature of Pepka. Thanks for watching.